So I still remember the first time that I went to the gym, right? I was 18, I was like 125 pounds, soaking wet, at over 6 feet tall. And so I go down there, I'm like, I'm tired of being skinny. I go to the weight room in the free weight section, right? And I go to do the bench press. And I finished like 4 or 5 sets. And then eventually I did my last set. It was like 95 pounds, 2 25-pound plates on either side. And I'm pushing and I just fried. I'm just completely toast. This 95-pound barbell, I drop it on my chest, and I literally am too weak to lift up this tiny barbell. And this guy walks up to me. He literally, with 2 fingers, at least in my memory, he was just like, yoink, and then lifted it off my chest. And it's not surprising why, after that time, and before that time really, I hated going to the gym. And it's something I hear from so many of you and so many of my own clients where they don't want to work out because they don't want to be seen in public in their current state, or in the way they currently are in the gym because of what they think people will perceive of them. Now in this video, I want to share a little bit about why I used to hate the gym, but also when you understand why you hate the gym, and when you begin to look deeper, there's a big lesson for growth here, not only in your fitness and your physical body, but also in your life. It's Alex Hine, author of the book Master the Day. So when I originally did not want to go to the gym, it was because I had these beliefs about the gym. Just like anything in life, right? When you don't want to do something, there's a strong aversion, there's usually something inner going on there. Now, I told myself a few things. I told myself, for example, number 1 was, everyone is watching me. Well, being the skinniest dude that wants to get bigger is a lot like being the most overweight woman that wants to get thinner. You go in there and you assume everybody's watching every little thing. Am I lifting the weights wrong? Like, am I doing the wrong exercise? Am I injuring myself? Am I just looking stupid? Is the weight not heavy enough? I mean, all these thoughts were going through my mind. The whole point was that I thought other people actually cared. And they were busy watching me being like, oh, this kid is so dumb, or he's so scrawny, like, what the hell is he doing here? That was the belief I had in my head. And I hear that from so many female clients too, where they're like, you know what? I don't want to go in there and have everyone staring at me. I don't want to go in there and have like these baked, starved, sweet potato looking women looking at me being like, what is this overweight girl doing here? And I feel that 100%. The second belief I had was that all these dudes, like the biggest ones, basically that I secretly respected and admired and wanted to be, I told myself that they must be douchebags or they must be just a bunch of meatheads. And you know what's funny? When I see them over there, they're like training hard, grunting, making all this noise, like flexing in the mirror. I'm like, these are, like, who are these guys? Is this real life? Like, do people really do that? When I saw a guy take off his shirt and flex in the mirror in public, I was like, this dude has issues. Like, this guy has some real psychological issues. Do normal people do this? What is this ecosystem I'm living in here? And so I made this assumption that the big or the fit guys, basically, in other words, the guys I wanted to become, also, by consequence, were also these dumb jocks. Now, it's funny, though, because that, too, was just a belief. And years later, you know, I would just go up to one of these guys, I was curious what they were actually like. The guy that I thought was like the dumb jock, the meathead, blah, 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 who lives in the gym. I went up to him one day and I was like, hey dude, you know, I could use your advice. I'm trying to look like you. So I basically started with flattery. And I was like, do you have any advice for what to do? I've got these digestive problems, blah, blah, blah. The guy was super nice. He was incredibly friendly, really helpful, and he gave me really good advice. And you know, since then, since those years, I've been in the gym for 12 years, I found that most of the time, 9 out of 10 times, those guys, or that girl you think is whatever, they're actually normal people. Surprise, normal, friendly people. That may just be how they look when they're lifting. It may just be how they look. They're normal, friendly people, and they're really happy to help, especially if you say, hey, you're my aspirational goal. Can you help? Like, who doesn't want to hear that, right? And so what I realized, that was the aha moment for me. When I realized that this was just a story I told myself, and I was basically projecting and imposing these judgments on other people because I was insecure. And I didn't want to feel judged, and I didn't want to blah, 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 right? It was all to do with me, with the inner BS I had not dealt with. And so when I think back years later, it's so obvious that a lot of the time, especially when we're critical, there's self-worth or self-esteem issues going on. You know, and when you realize that it's not a big deal being the skinniest person or the fattest person, nobody gives a crap. Like, everybody's too busy worrying about their own problems or their own weight or their own goals to care what you think. And it's like, unless you're running around in a G-string or a Speedo, or you're half naked and you're trying to try too hard, or you're doing something weird or unusual, nobody cares. Literally, nobody's watching you. No one cares at all what you're doing. They're all just normal people with normal jobs and normal lives who want to get fitter, look better, and feel a lot better. And so when you think of it like that, you realize that, okay, maybe I'm not going in the gym because of I say this. But often, like I said in my experience, what I realized was that the deeper reason for not going to the gym is self-esteem issues, is looking in the mirror and not being honest with ourselves about like, hey, the reason I don't want to go is because I'm afraid of people just looking at me. Like, just this feeling of, like the A-list celebrity syndrome, where you're just like, everybody recognizes you, so you're so paranoid all the time, wondering when someone is going to approach you, and you're just kind of like this, like, just want to wear a hat and glasses and headphones, just in your sensory deprivation bubble. That's just made up. That's all inside of you, is all inside of me. And so I think if this is a narrative, a story preventing you from going to the gym to get the results you want, it's very important to look in the mirror and realize, does it really have to do with anything outside of me? The starved baked sweet potato girl, this jacked meathead dude, does it have to do at all with them? And you'll realize, like I realized probably, is that it doesn't at all. And it's all about you. It was all about me. So I hope that helps. It's kind of a little bit of a thinking point, a little bit of the deeper reason on why we don't go to the gym, or honestly, why we don't go to events if we feel like we're the least successful person, or why we don't go to speed dating if we feel like we're not that quality. Like, there's nothing conversation worthy about me or something I can brag about. It's always important, I think, to look in the mirror, because at least for me, that's been the solution to my problems. And being honest about what needs to change and what needs to happen next to be the kind of person that you admire and you respect. So your tiny daily habit for today is look at the narrative behind why you don't like to go to the gym, right? Or why you don't like working out. The gym in particular, though, because there's a lot of social stuff that comes up. And I want you to leave a comment there below and tell me what has been the major reason you don't go to the gym. What's up, guys? It's Alex. I hope you like this video. Now, the best way to stay in touch is to actually go check out my Patreon, because I've actually just launched that, and I'm doing monthly Q&As, a whole bunch of cool perks and bonuses. So you can do that by clicking the link below or clicking gosagemode.com. In addition, I also have been uploading on my future quote Dr. Alex channel, which is all about traditional Chinese medicine. What it is, how it works, can it actually help you? So click my pretty little face right there to go subscribe and check out that other channel if that's your thing, because it's totally different kind of content, and I'm going to be tackling some topics that I don't tackle here.